And joining me now for the latest on COVID-19 in our region is our Medical Officer of Health, Dr. Paul. Welcome back, Doctor.
Good to be back.
All right, so after last week's news that there was a positive case at a local Tim Hortons, another local business employee has tested positive. I'll let you update our viewers.
Sure. Over the weekend, we had a positive result from a employee at the Food Basics in Cornwall. And as usual, what we do is we call the individual, find out what work they do, and then we do the contact tracing. And so we do the home contact tracing, obviously, and depending on where they work, we'll do the workplace tracing and any other people that they've been exposed to. So that individual had symptoms for a couple of days before. We traced back. We looked at who that individual was in contact with at work, for example, and we monitor them and we do what's called contact tracing. But in a public setting like this, we actually also look at what type of work did this individual do, how much was that individual exposed to the public, and we determined through our investigation that that individual had very limited direct contact with the public. There was working behind a plexiglass and so on. And so we determined that the risk to the public was quite low. However, we also said to people, had you been at that place, at that shop on these particular days, and if you develop symptoms, we can test you. That's sort of the precautions that we took. Again, we worked with the employees as well. We're tracing all those employees to ensure that they're self-monitoring. And again, this is the standard procedure of what we do. Even in an airplane, we don't test everybody. We just look at the people around. So we look at the type and degree of exposure. And so once we did that, we're actually in the process of still following all those individuals. And at the same time, Food Basics on Saturday evening hired a company that did overnight sanitation of the whole facility, not only where that individual was working, but the whole facility. I saw the list of what they did. It's a very extensive cleaning process. We're satisfied, and they reopened the next morning. And so at this point, this is just added to another case. And one of the things that I said yesterday during a press conference was that this is another individual who has been positive in Cornwall, the Tim Hortons one, and both the commonalities is that they're both from Cornwall and both really didn't get it from travel or any contact. So it is really in the Cornwall community.
And that's the perfect segue into the importance, of course, of staying at home, because as you just alluded to, the only connection between these two cases is the fact that they were acquired via community transmission. So for everyone, stay home.
Exactly. We need to stay home, particularly, obviously, our message is stay home, work home as much as possible, only go out for essential things like grocery shopping or pharmacy if they can't be delivered to you. Minimize your outings, again, because we want to make sure that people don't get it from the community or don't give it to others in the community. That's why we're talking about, and if you do have to go out, you're going to be doing social distancing. The other thing that we want to message is that if you're sick with any type of symptom, even if you're not tested, stay home. Stay home until you're better, obviously. If we test you, obviously, in the interim, you're going to stay home as well. But if you're an employer, we ask all employers to ensure that all their staff is well. If the staff is sick, they are to send them home. And so that's the message that we want to reiterate. Stay home and save lives, obviously. Stay home, stay safe. And particularly if you're sick or if your employee is sick, stay home.
Absolutely. And Doctor, just the elephant in the room that we should address, of course, there was a lot of concern in the community just over how this case, there was a little blip in terms of the person returning to work after being tested, not knowing they were tested. I'll just have you address those concerns from the community.
I can tell you that we've tested thousands of people in our area, and this is the first time that it's happened. I can reassure you that we've spoken to all our hospitals again, all our assessment centers, and the individuals who are tested are given a package ordinarily and are also told to self-isolate until we get the results. And again, that was a small anomaly. This is not normal course for us. We have repeated our message to our healthcare providers, and I'm very confident that this will not occur again. And it really is one in thousands of tests that we've done.
And that being said, the focus, of course, is going to continue to be on retailers because we know that even with all the precautions that are taken, community spread is possible. So talk to me a little bit about what you're going to be looking at in terms of retailers over the next week or two.
Well, we've been getting still a lot of reports that retailers are not are not controlling the number of people that go in, are not enforcing social distancing, disinfections, and so on. And so we're actually gonna go do another round of calls and another round of investigations. And really, if we get repeat offenders, we will enforce it. There will be penalties. Either the police or bylaw officers or ourselves will impose penalties, because we do believe that it's very important for these individuals to take on that responsibility seriously, to ensure that people don't congregate in their parking lots, that people don't congregate in their stores, and they provide the protection both for their clients and their employees. On the other hand, I just want to say that there's a lot of other retailers that are doing an excellent job, and I commend them, and I'm really happy that they're doing it. However, what's happening is the clients that are the customers that are walking in are not adhering to the regulations or to the signs. So it goes both ways. So store owners have a responsibility to ensure that they follow the directions that I've given them in terms of infection prevention. And at the same time, customers need to be cognizant and follow the directions. And really, if you're going to go out shopping, just go one at a time. Don't take the whole family. There's no use of exposing everybody. And again, go only out if it's necessary, if it's essential, and if you can, get things delivered at home, if possible.
On that note, Doctor, thank you so much for joining me for this update.
No problem.